mesh analysis, which is also called the mesh current method. Mesh current method is another systematic way of writing down the equations to describe a circuit. And the way that this works is that we define currents for all of the meshes that we have in a circuit. So a mesh is a loop, basically like this. This is a loop, and any loop that does not contain a smaller loop is called a mesh. And so what we do in the mesh current method is that we draw a little circular arrow to indicate the current that is flowing in the mesh. So the easiest is the case where we have just one mesh. So we'll have one current that we need to analyze. So I've labeled it here as I1, and I've drawn the arrow in a clockwise direction around this loop. So to analyze this using the mesh current method, basically the sequence is that I label the mesh currents. So label mesh currents. Then step 2 is apply Kirchhoff's voltage law. So apply KVL to each mesh. And then finally, step 3 is solve equations. So let's actually go through and do that for this one here, the simplest possible case. So when I apply KVL to this mesh, I pick any random point, any arbitrary point on that mesh, and I might as well pick where I've highlighted there as the starting point. And then I follow the direction of the arrow for my mesh current. And so proceeding in that direction, I will first encounter the negative sign of the voltage source, so I write a -10. Next I will encounter the 3 kilo ohm resistor, and I want to write the voltage across this resistor, so I use Ohm's law. And I know that the voltage across this resistor is V equals IR, so that's 3000 times I1. And then I proceed further around the loop, and I encounter a 2 kilo ohm resistor. Again, voltage using Ohm's law will give me 2000 times I1, and all of that is equal to 0 because I get back to my starting point. So this is KVL around this loop. Now it's a matter of just solving these equations. So I can simplify this. I'll bring the 10 to the other side. So I will have 5000 I1 is equal to 10. So I1 is just 10 divided by 5000, which will be 2 milliamps. So this is an example, this mesh current method. Here's how you apply it to the simplest possible circuit. So in summary, it's using Kirchhoff's voltage law and Ohm's law to express the voltages around each of the loops, and our unknowns that we're solving for are the currents in each of the meshes.